Okay. So we're going to start with the bolster or pillow. And if you have the pillow, it's going to go the bolster of the pillow is going to go the long direction. And we're going to start with child's pose. Okay. And once again, if something doesn't feel good, you kind of just have to move around to make it work. So the bolster pillow goes in between the thighs. The knees go super wide for this child's pose. And then you drop down. And you could just pick an ear to rest on. Let your arms extend forward, or just kind of let your arms drape. I don't even need your arms to be so energetic. So just really, really passive. They can even be alongside your body. Just kind of drop down. Just a few cycles of breath here. Feeling your exhale breath just really like allow you to melt into the support of the bolster or pillow. Allowing your seat, your tailbone to drop back. And very little energy. You don't need much. So if your ear is resting one way, you can just turn it the other direction. And tap into a very subtle breath. So it's a very subtle, smooth inhalation, smooth exhalation. And really allowing yourself right here to detach in a way, if you can. Good, very slowly pressing up onto all fours. So now we're gonna go ahead and take the bolster or pillow and go along the top of the mat. And this is where, if you're bigger busted, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to kind of find that spot. But what you want is you need the pillow to kind of lay right where your ribs are, so the girls kind of hang over. And then your forearms go flat and your feet separate hips with distance. So I call this supported Sphinx pose. So the pillow or bolster is right underneath, supporting your tummy, your ribs, and then just letting your palms and extending them a little bit more forward than maybe you normally would. So you feel a very subtle opening in the neck and the chest. And I personally like the tops of the feet on the ground, the legs not together. I find it much more comfortable in the lower spine. So just breathe, a few cycles of breath here. So everything we do, we're gonna hold for a few breaths and then we move to the next thing. And once again, if you're not feeling anything, that's good. That's what you want. You just wanna kind of relax. Spread the palms a little wider. Breathe into the front side of your body. And then here, from your elbows to your fingertips, just flip your palms up. Yes, the only thing that moved was your forearms turned, and now the palms face up. And it's a very subtle difference in how your body is presenting itself. And then here, Debs, you'll probably remember this. You're just going to crisscross at the creases of the wrist and kind of slide your arms forward like this. So you're just taking Sphinx and you're crisscrossing, yeah. So take your arms long, they almost go completely straight out in front of you. And just crisscross at the creases of the elbow to go higher up like this. Yeah, good. So now you feel your outer tricep getting a very gentle stretch. Keep the neck long. If for some reason the neck is bothering you, just drop your head down. Just let your head go into your arms. Good, and then very slowly just switching. I just want you to switch and seeing if you can cross, kind of like you would do an eagle arm. Right? But not wrapping anything, and then just feeling the sides. It's subtle, right? Sides of your shoulders stretching, your triceps stretching. Your pelvis is neutral, your tailbone is long, your feet are on the floor, and you're just letting your breath flow. And if your neck bothers you, just let your head rest. Good, then pop yourself back up, re-separate the arms for the Sphinx, flip the palms back down. Now keeping your left arm where it is, bend your right leg, flex your foot. Yeah, and then reach back and grab your ankle and make sure that your knee stays right behind your thigh bone and your hip, so you're not taking it out to the right. and let your foot fall into your hand. So when you do that, your chest now lifts a little bit higher up off the ground, but your belly is still down. And I want you to subtly turn your right shoulder towards the ground. Yep, as your foot kicks more into your hand. Keep your palm flat, your left palm flat. Ground both your thighs into the mat so nothing is lifting, and keep the neck nice and neutral. So this is the psoas. It doesn't need to be aggressive. It's just a very gentle release. Let the See, the good thing here is you just hold.
I just started doing the same thing on the other side.
Exactly. That's exactly what you want. So we'll go back to we're on the left side right now. Yeah. Perfect. So you're just letting your foot kind of fall into your hand. Right, and the palm is flat. Just a few more breaths. So draw the thigh back more and let the shoulder pull up, but then turn the torso down. And let both thighs really press into the mat. Activate your right leg a little bit more. Stay with it. Good, now let the leg go. Bring the forearms back down. So from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna press up onto all fours. You can keep your bolster at the top of your mat. You're gonna curl your toes and stand up on your knees now. So the toes are curled and the bolster's just at the top of the mat like this. You're gonna go ahead and step your right foot over the bolster or pillow. And this is where you may need to kind of fuddle a little to figure out what works for you. So I'm pretty upright with my left leg. My right thigh is creating a 90-degree angle. And then from here, what's gonna happen is my hands are gonna come to the ground and I'm gonna start to slide my leg back. Now, the bolster will have to go and I'm gonna reach for a block. I'm gonna bring the block underneath the thigh. So now I'm going into kind of an extended low lunge. The leg is on a strong angle. The toes are curled into the mat and the hands are down. And we're gonna start with the block here and you're gonna notice as we move in here or lack of movement, you may be able to remove the block in a few breaths. You may notice that you don't even need the block there. Good, keep the fingertips tented on the ground. Pull your chest subtly through your body. Good, make sure your right knee and your right ankle are grounded. And then if you like, you can relax the top of the foot down. And you're gonna stay up. Now, your hands can stay split like this. They can also come to the instep. I personally like it with the hands separated. I just feel like it's more even. And if it becomes too much for you, you can also just pop up. Your hands can come to the top of the thigh, okay? But ultimately, you want to stay down low. We're going to be here for several breaths. So pick a drishti, let your neck just be nice and neutral, and breathe. Feel your right heel. Feel your right hip grip underneath you. And then you start to check in, maybe a little wiggle, maybe you can remove the block. If you feel like, I'm actually gonna go for the smaller block here because it's gonna give me less, and I'm just gonna stay. And I think the hardest part about learning to practice this way is dealing with the quiet and just being still and like not moving in the pose. Right, so just giving you a few other things that you can try if you're starting to feel like you're drifting or need more support. The block can now be moved to the instep of the foot and you can maybe bring the arm to the inside. You can experiment with that. Right, but softening the shoulders, and allowing your left thigh to really drop down into whatever is supporting it. Keep the neck nice and neutral. Breathe. So a lot of lizard poses, when you do a lizard prep, sometimes the foot turns out. This version, the foot is completely forward. Okay, about 6 or 7 more breaths. If you want to drop down deeper, maybe come to your forearms, that's up to you. You can also just stay up high. Keep wrapping your right hip, but letting your thigh, your left thigh, continue to just kind of melt. Come up nice and slow onto your palms if you're not there. Remove the blocks, but don't move the bolster yet, okay? So move the blocks. I find that you kind of have to turn the bolster on an angle, and then you're gonna take your right leg into a half pigeon. But your whole leg is gonna be in the half pigeon, okay? So your hip and your knee are in the same line of energy, and your calf is now on an angle. Right. Good, your back leg is lifted, and here you may find that you need another piece of support underneath the thigh, or you may just be okay with keeping that thigh down. Now, you're gonna reach your arms up, and then you'll come down, and you're gonna fold into half pigeon. How's that? Good, okay, good. So normally, you're used to taking half pigeon with your leg completely down on the ground or close to it. Now you're elevating it with something. You can take a block, place 1 or 2 underneath the forehead, and then let your arms just drape down. Every inhale and every exhale, working through kind of a fascial level, a deeper level as you stay. A little bit longer. And let the thoughts come and go. That's part of this. Like sometimes it's just uncomfortable. Sometimes you think good things, bad things, whatever it is. That's part of the practice. Start to press yourself up nice and slow onto your hands. Move the blocks to the side. So we're moving into what I call double pigeon or fire log or just crisscross applesauce. So I'm going to take my bolster behind me, and depending on your body, because everyone's bodies are different, you may want to sit on the bolster. The right leg will be underneath. The left leg will be over, so you're going ankle to knee. Tracy, I think you know this pose. And you can see how you can kind of get into it. You see that my left thigh is very high from my bottom ankle. I'm going to go ahead and take this prop and place it in between to give myself the support. If this does not work, creating the shape of a box where your ankle is lined up with your knee and your knee is lined up with your ankle, you're just going to go like Indian style and sit. That's it. And flex your feet if that's the option you're going for. Okay? Inhale the breath. Exhale, bring your arms up, come halfway down. I feel something there, so that's good. Flip the palms, take the hands down, and then fold. Now, another option, if you're not sitting on the bolster and your butt is just directly down on the ground, is you can take the bolster. If I had a second bolster or pillow, I'd lay it across here, and I'll show you what I mean, because I want you to experiment and see what feels good for you. Okay, so now I'm going to remove that. And Tracy, I think I showed you this. Both feet are flexed. The bolster's across the top, and then I'll just fold. So this is great. This feels, yeah, Debbie, I think you'll like this. Flex the feet and fold. The palms are down. So now we're getting external rotation of our hips. Right, which is what we need. Yeah, my mom just took blocks and put them underneath her torso to act as the bolster. And then she's folding. And most people feel a lot in this pose. Yeah. You can take a couple blocks or a pillow and kind of build here and let your forehead rest. Wherever you are, even if it's crisscross applesauce, flex your feet for me. Yeah. The only thing you need to think about right here is your breath. Think about linking your breath. The inhale is smooth and slow and steady. And then see if you can make your exhale even cleaner, smoother, slower, and longer. At this point, you start to maybe fight the resistance a little bit, so just breathe and stay with it. Very slowly start to move your torso up, just sit up, okay? So now my bolster, if it's not behind me, I'm just gonna place it behind me. Right, I'm gonna unwrap my legs. I'm actually gonna slide my seat, if it's not already there, onto the bolster. And I'm gonna line up my feet right in front of me with enough space between my bolster, my seat, and my heels. So my knees are separated like this. I'm gonna go ahead and take my left hand to the outside of my right thigh, my right hand behind the bolster, the flat part of the back, anchoring the feet and not letting your left knee move. Sit up really, really tall. You're almost wrapping and using your whole arm. Look over your right shoulder for a supine twist. Sit up really tall. Feel your feet, feel your inner and outer thighs grounding you so your whole body doesn't turn. You're almost using your arm as a little basket leverage. Good. Come back to center. Good. You're just going to unravel your legs. Keep the bolster at the top. Step to a down dog. Step to a down dog. Your hands are in front of the bolster. Just step your legs back and pause in down dog. Let your head go. Firm up your arms. If down dog is unavailable, tabletop position would be your next best bet. Spread your toes wide. Let your head go. Firm up the sides of your arms. Feel the ground. And then drop your knees. Keep the toes curled. Stand up on your knees. Good. Keeping your right leg where it is, step your left foot over the bolster. So just move it back. You know, it's about 3/4 of the way up the mat. You're standing up very tall on your right leg to start. Then go ahead and drop the fingertips down. Once your hands match the floor, then you're going to work on sliding your right thigh back. So the thigh slides back, the bolster, you see I want my leg to rest on the bolster. That's why you play around with the distance between your thigh and the bolster, and I'm going to go ahead and take this skinnier block and place it there to give myself a little bit more. Hands are going to separate on the fingertips. The chest pulls through my body and I look forward. Then if you'd like, you can relax the right toes and let the foot just kind of rest on the ground. Bring the floor up to you if you need. You can use blocks. Yeah, and then letting your right thigh drop. That's the goal. Keeping your left heel, your left inner and outer thigh, everything wrapped nicely, and just being here. I feel more on this side, FYI. But in different spots. It's so unusual how right side and left side, you could feel totally different things. So the hands are still split around the foot. If you want to start to experiment with the hands coming to the instep, maybe resting your hands onto a block on the center. Your arm will be on the inside of your left thigh, and you'll be still up nice and high. Yeah. Keep letting that right thigh drop down. Try not to resist what's under it, just let it fall into the mat, into the bolster. If you want to drop down to your forearms, that's another option. You're like, no, that's not happening. That's good. Really nice. Breathe right there. Feel your left foot. It's grounding you. Your core, you're not, you're not like sucking in your stomach right now, but you're subtly engaged, just so you're obviously allowing your body to enjoy the stretch, if possible. A little longer. If you notice your mind starting to slip, just come back. Look at silly things like your mat, right, the ground, things that maybe you don't normally pay attention to. Just start to focus in on that and then come back to the breath, just to bring you back to the practice. Three more breaths. Start to slowly press up onto your palms, okay? Remove the block that's underneath the thigh. Remove the block that's in front. Turn the block bolster kind of on a sideways angle here. And then go ahead and take your left thigh. You can see it better on this side. Line it up with your knee. And then make sure your calf is on the bolster and it's out of the way. And then your right thigh turns and then you start to fold. Half pigeon pose. And once again, if the bolster's too much for you, just drop down and take half pigeon. It's normal way. Put something underneath your forehead so you can really allow your body to, allow the hip to open. And then let your arms just kind of drape down so you're not doing anything with them. Top of your right foot stays grounded. Right thigh, let that drop down. And most of you are probably feeling this in your left outer leg, also known as your piriformis. If you feel any sensation in your knee, we'll back out. For the last little bit here, just allow yourself to fall into the half pigeon a little bit more. Very slowly press up onto your hands. Good. Move the blocks just to the side. You're going to swing your right leg around. We're going into that double pigeon. I'm going to move my bolster just because I took it the other way with the bolster across. The left shin is perpendicular to the front of the mat. The right ankle comes on top. So two options. You can either sit on the bolster. You can use a block now and place it in between the lift of your right knee and the base of your left foot. You can take the bolster now and place it, over the top. Inhale the breath, stretch your arms up. Yeah, I think the rounded bolsters are really good for this. And then come down and let yourself fold. So this is external rotation. If you've been sitting in a desk all day, this is like excruciating. Yes. So we have to pause and just be in this for a few breaths. Yeah, make sure your feet are flexed. And if it's too aggressive, just go crisscross applesauce with your legs. If you'd like, you can take things and put them underneath your forehead. So I'd say that your spine should have a very soft round in it. Come back to what's happening with your feet. Make sure they're not getting limp. Give them a little bit of energy, just a tiny bit. Stay with it, it's getting juicy now. Okay, very slowly start to move. Start to bring your torso up first. Remove the block, the bolster, just put it to the side. Move the blocks out of the way. Unravel your legs slowly. Take your feet and bend them. You could sit on the bolster here, actually, because I think that's what we did before. Yeah, we sat on the bolster of the block. The feet came out, bent knees. Good, left hand comes behind you, right elbow's gonna hook. Yeah, and then you're just gonna kind of use that to give you a little twist. I'm actually grabbing both legs, just so I don't move my knees. And I sit up really tall, and then look over the shoulder, ground your feet, you feel the lift of the side body. This is a great way to take a spine twist where you're not going into your low back. Good, come back to neutral. So from here, you're gonna move the bolster out of the way and you're gonna step to a down dog, okay? Stepping to a downward facing dog, grip your hands, lift your hips, bend your knees a lot. So just there'll be very few vinyasas in this practice, but roll forward very slowly to a plank. You can bend your elbows very slowly or drop your knees to a chaturanga. Slide the chest through very, very slowly for an up dog. You're just kind of moving your energy and then taking a very, very slow downward facing dog. From your down dog, you'll glide your right foot forward. You drop your knee and it feels like a dream after what you did. You'll grab your strap or your belt or something and kind of just take it over your shoulders. I'm actually going to turn in a second so you can see the left elbow is going to hook up towards the ceiling. The right arm's going to reach behind you for Gomukhasana arms. Gomukhasana arms is this. So the strap is very, very helpful. If you can't get your hands together, your Gomukhasana arms could even look like this. The left elbow points firmly up towards the sky. Your neck is neutral. It's almost like the arms create a little pillow for your head to rest in. Your ribs lift, your belly draws in, your right foot stays firm for a moment. The hip point stays squared. Keep the back toes curled into the mat. That's going to make your next movement much easier. Start to straighten your right leg and scoot your right foot forward. You actually have to literally lift it up and slide it forward, flex your toes. Inhale the breath. Lift your torso, come forward 2 inches and hold. So now you're taking a hamstring stretch. If this is too much for you, just stay upright and don't bend. Just a few breaths. Grip your outer hips, keep your back toes curled, keep your neck long. Back of your head presses against the instep of your arm. Keep pointing the elbow towards the sky, keep the neck neutral. Bring your torso up, rebend the leg, 90-degree angle. Good. Drop the strap, lift the arms up, lift them up. Reach your arms forward towards the front wall, wrap your left arm underneath your right arm, lift your elbows up. So just eagle the arms. You're standing up on your left knee. If this is very uncomfortable for you, you're gonna take a block, slide it underneath your shin and let your knee hang off the block, just as an alternative. So if this is very uncomfortable, you're then gonna take the block and place it on your shin. Give it a whirl. It's actually pretty intense. Unravel your arms. Hands come down, downward facing dog. Nice and slow, guys, plank position. Very, very slowly, just lower to a very little chaturanga. Pull the chest through for a very slow up dog. Take a downward facing dog. This is about as much as we're gonna move. Step the left foot forward, drop the knee, bring the arms up. Yes, if you know your knee is sensitive being down, this would be where you would take that block and slide it underneath your shin, just to give you a little grip. So your knee would actually hang off the edge of the block. Good. The arms come up. Bend your right elbow in half. Use your instep of your palm to kind of scoop up the elbow. Reach the left arm back, flip the palm, and then slide the hand up the back. If you need the strap, you use it. And then sit up nice and tall. Feel the left heel, feel the outer hips grip in, and really let the shoulders drop into the socket. Good. Keeping the torso really lifted, start to slide your weight back and your left leg extends out. So now you're going with a flexed left foot, the torso stays lifted high. This may be where you stay. If you'd like to go deeper, inhale the breath, exhale, start to hinge. The second I hinge too far, I lose stability, so I just go about an inch. Keep flexing the foot, it's gonna get more in the meaty part of your hamstring. Lengthen from the side body, crown of the head forward. Pull the torso back up, rebend the left leg, it's back at a 90-degree angle. Reach your arms straight up. Yeah, pause here. Slide the arms forward like you're handing someone something. Wrap your right arm underneath your left arm. Lift from your elbows. Lift from your shoulders. Lift up. Keep your neck nice and neutral. Unravel your arms. Sweep them big. Hands come down. Step to just a downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Let your head go. Firm up the sides of your arms. Look in between your hands. Walk your feet up to your hands, sit down on your butt. Okay, so the bolster now is gonna go behind your back. Okay, you're gonna lay down. I'm gonna go long with the pillow and bolster. I'm gonna lay all the way flat on my back. I'm gonna take my strap with me. So I'm creating a little bit. There's actually two ways to do this, and I want you to experiment with what feels better. You can try going the long direction, or Debbie, try this. The bolster can go the short direction, and then you'll lay on it. But I want you to lay so your butt isn't on the ground. So you kind of create like a lumbar support. So there's two ways to try it out. This is one way where you're creating lumbar support, or the long direction. It's the biggest decision of the day. What should I do? So see how you feel in it, see how you feel. So when you lay with the bolster going long, you're gonna get more of a back bend. This is gonna create more stability in your low back. So it just depends what you need. Okay, take your strap with you. Bend your left leg, keep a 90-degree angle. Bring your right knee in, take the strap around the base of your foot, okay? With your left leg bent, I don't want this leg going straight right now. I want you to lay back and straighten your arms, and straighten your leg. Now, your leg is on an angle. Yeah. And your shoulders are drawing back into the socket, and your hands are clasped kind of like a tennis or golf grip if you play tennis or golf. They're kind of stacked on top of one another. Now, you're not doing anything. Your arms are really doing nothing except holding the strap, just so your leg doesn't fall. I just want you to be here and breathe. Good, so if you didn't have a bolster, you just lay flat on your back and you just do this. Good. Now if you want to straighten your left leg, you can. Flex the foot though and keep the left calf down on the ground. Yeah. Keep the slack with your arms straight. Let your foot just fall into your hands in a sense, into the strap. Let the strap do the work for you. Make sure your shoulders aren't popping off the mat. Draw your belly in very subtly and just hang out here for a few more breaths. Now take your left hand onto the two straps. The straps come together to make one. Your right arm's gonna come alongside your body. Your left leg can stay straight. The right leg is gonna come over the center line of the body. Now I'm not drawing my leg towards me, I'm just letting it fall to the left, keeping my right hip down. So you're gonna use your right arm, because if you start to drift all the way over, you're gonna lose the stability in your pelvis. Do you feel that? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So this is a sideline stretch. Make sure your hips aren't moving, they're staying square towards the ceiling. Let your foot fall into the strap. Keep your arm as straight as you can. Yeah, feel the difference? Your arm is straight. Bring it up to center. Take your right hand now onto the strap. Take your left arm out. This one's the most difficult for me. Take the right leg out to the right. Yeah. And this time I have to use more strength to kind of hold on to the strap and make sure that your left hip stays down. Some people are very flexible, can just like take this leg completely open. I'm thinking more stability. Keep your tailbone down, keep your left palm down, and just open a little. Try not to let the neck draw you to the right. Good, start to bring the leg to center. Remove the strap and just let the leg fall. Just let it fall, okay? Bend your right leg, take your left knee in, take the strap over the base of the foot. It's best to start with this with the leg bent because you want to check in. Like we're like hauling laundry and moving furniture and doing all sorts of things. Like we don't know how our back really feels. So it's good to start really simple. Bend your right leg. This is something you can do just like when you're just feeling tight. Let your foot fall into the strap. Keep your arm straight. Then from here, if you want, you can slide your right leg out. Flex the foot though, keep the right leg on the ground. Let the arms just kind of slack. And when you do hamstring work and you're using the strap, make sure you feel it very gently in the meaty part of your hamstring, not up by your butt. Keep the neck long. Keeping your right hand on the strap, take your left arm, firm it up, and now very subtly take the leg over, and so it's not straight back to the back corner of the mat, it's just over, directly over to the right. Keep both hips down and use your left arm to ground you. Keep the neck long. Good. And play with it. I like to see if my arm can stay straight. Some people need to bend the elbow a little to get more. I have plenty here. Start to bring the leg back to center. One more here. Left hand on the strap, right arm alongside body. Left leg drops out to the left a little. So there's different ways, different teachers have different styles of teaching this. I just want you to go a little bit to the left and really work on keeping everything stabilized. Keep the right arm down, keep your gaze up, and let your foot fall into the strap more. Let the leg just open. Pull it up to center. Remove the strap, let the leg fall. Pause for a second. So there's one more thing we need to do with the hamstrings. Bend the legs in half now, okay? And you're gonna bend your knees towards your chest and you're gonna take the strap now around both feet. And then you're gonna use the strap and you're gonna extend your arms. Yeah. So like on your back, and now this time my arms aren't completely straight. I have a little bend in them because I'm trying to stack them like as if I was legs up the wall. How does that feel? Good. Now stay here and breathe. Let the bolster support you. Like feel your upper torso drop into that bolster. And then feel the strap around the base of your feet. Okay, so now your hands are still on the strap or whatever you're using. Let go of that. Just let the strap go. You can just let the strap go, but keep your legs up and keep your arms down. And it's actually harder than we think to keep our legs up like this. So just a few breaths. Now keeping your back down, like you're gonna go into a crow Baddha Konasana. Now if you don't know what that is, I'm just butterflying my legs. So my feet come together and my knees open and my thighs open. And then I'm going to use the strength of my arms and I'm going to very slowly rock myself up. Right. And then I'm going to slide my seat back, relax my feet down. And now I'm set up for a butterfly pose. Right. So there's a couple ways to take this and I love to experiment with using a block. So your feet are going to go and create a 5-pointed star. And my mom's here with me and she could tell you that. So sometimes it feels better to have the feet further out, and sometimes it feels better to have the feet closer in. Personally, for today's practice, I'm going for the bigger version of it with the feet out, more of a 5-pointed star. So the bolster just stays here, you're not using it really. The feet are on the block, and you're gonna inhale the breath, and then exhale, you're just gonna let yourself fold. Now, if you did wanna move the bolster and place it on your feet, I would need like 4 bolsters here. You can then rest your forehead and let yourself go. You may want to stay more upright, and I'll show you another option, just so you know. The hands tent behind you, and you stay very upright. Debbie, this is a better one for you, I think. You create a gentle back bend in your upper back. My arms are straight, my fingertips are tented. I want your shoulders to roll back, your neck to stay neutral. And then press your feet firmly together and let your thighs drop open more. Good, very slowly pull yourself up here. You're gonna remove the feet from the block, okay? The block's just gonna go to the side. The feet are gonna stay together. The bolster's gonna come the wrong direction. This is the best part. Go long, let the back base of your spine, take your blocks or anything with you, because you're gonna take these blocks and place them underneath your thighs with your feet together to start. You're gonna lay all the way down and open up your arms. Starting here for about a little bit, and then you're gonna move into a regular Shavasana here, okay? Your legs can straighten out. So the legs will straighten out. I'll tell you when to do that. So just let the arms open. Support the neck, support the back, create this passive back bend. Let the palms open, close your eyes. At this point, from your knees to your toes, you can straighten your legs if that feels good to you. So your legs are super wide, the blocks are underneath the thighs. and drop down even more. I'm gonna be quiet for the next minute or two. I just want you to rest in this position. Thigh bones drop open. Very slowly move your arms back to your stomach. So place your hands, touch your center, touch your core. Very slowly bend your right knee in, grab your right knee, your right hand with your right knee, and then grab your left knee. So you're just kind of bowling your legs up. Then from here, just move your blocks out of the way. You're gonna roll all the way to your left side. And you're just gonna kind of fall off the bolster or the pillow and just go left like a little baby. And then using the strength of your body, slowly pushing yourself up. And you'll come up and you'll just sit. Slide the bolster underneath your butt. And when you sit, we're not going to meditate or anything like that. But just so you know, if you were to meditate at this point, you'd want your seat to be lifted high. This would be a great time to do it if there weren't children screaming in the background. Right. And you want your knees to drop low because we just did all this work to kind of open everything. And then you would sit in this quiet seat, and you'd start with like a minute or two, and then you try and see if you could take on more than that. Chest back, shoulders back, and then we'll just bring our hands to prayer today. Bow our heads, have a little closure. Totally different type of practice. Lift your head, open your eyes. We say namaste. That was great. Namaste. Awesome job. My mom says namaste. That was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed.